In the heart of the Pacific, during the darkest years of World War II, there was a place the soldiers called Hacksaw Ridge, a jagged cliff face drowned in smoke, fire, and blood. It was a meat grinder, a nightmare carved into the earth. And into this hell, the U.S. Army sent a man who refused to carry a weapon, not because he was afraid, but because he held a conviction so deep it could not be broken. His name was Desmond Doss, and his story defies everything we think we know about war and about courage. Desmond grew up in the quiet hills of Lynchburg, Virginia, during the crushing years of the Great Depression. His family was poor. His father, a World War I veteran, battled the demons of trauma and alcoholism, and the house often echoed with anger, fear, and silence. One afternoon, a fight between Desmond and his older brother Harold spiraled out of control. Just two boys. But rage has no age. Desmond picked up a heavy brick. He swung in blind anger. The brick missed, but what could have happened struck him harder than any blow. He froze, looking at Harold, then at the brick in his hand, and a horrifying truth washed over him. He had the power to kill. Right there, in that moment, a promise was born, a vow to God. Lord, I will never take a human life. This vow would shape every step of his future, every choice, every battle. When Pearl Harbor was bombed, America answered the call to war. So did Desmond. But he carried his vow with him to the recruiting office. He would serve, but he would not kill. He chose the medical corps. He would run into danger, not with a rifle, but with bandages, morphine, and faith. Boot camp became his first battlefield. He was mocked, shoved, called a coward, a misfit, an embarrassment to the uniform. His fellow soldiers threw boots at him as he knelt to pray. His officers tried to break him, extra duties, no passes, constant pressure to quit. But Desmond Doss did not bend, did not raise his voice, did not break. He simply said quietly, "I'm here to be a medic. I'm here to save lives, not take them." Slowly, the men around him began to see it. This wasn't weakness. This wasn't fear. It was a different kind of strength. Before being deployed, Desmond proved himself in training. During a drill, a soldier was wounded on the field. While others hesitated, Desmond sprinted through simulated gunfire, dragging the man to safety. For the first time, his unit understood. This man wasn't a burden. He was their lifeline. Nothing, however, could prepare them for what awaited on Okinawa, at a place the locals called the Maida Escarpment. The Americans called it Hacksaw Ridge, a 400-foot cliff, steep, brutal. Crawling with Japanese bunkers and machine gun nests, taking it was suicide. But they had no choice. May 5th, 1945. The sky was choked with smoke. Artillery shook the earth. Blood soaked the dirt. The moment the troops scaled the ropes and reached the top of the ridge, the world exploded. Machine guns opened, grenades burst, men fell in waves, the battlefield turned into a slaughterhouse. "Retreat! Fall back!" The order echoed across the ridge. Soldiers scrambled to escape the hellfire. Every able-bodied man climbed down the cliff to safety, except one. Desmond Doss stayed. He looked across the plateau, a landscape of torn bodies, broken cries, and dying men. Alone, unarmed, surrounded by enemies. He whispered, "Lord, please help me get one more. Just one more." And then he went back into the smoke. What Desmond did next defies belief. Crawling on his belly, sliding through mud, blood, and fire, he searched for survivors. When he found one, he stabilized him, bandaged him, dragged him to the cliff edge, and lowered him 400 feet. Using a rope sling, he tied with trembling hands. Then he turned around and went back, over and over and over again. Enemy bullets snapped past him. Grenades tore the earth beside him. Shrapnel ripped into his leg. He treated his own wounds, then kept going. Night fell. Darkness smothered the ridge. He could not see, but he could hear the faint moans of the dying. So he crawled toward the sound. One wounded soldier at a time. Each time he lowered a man to safety, he repeated the same prayer. "Lord, help me get one more." Hours passed. Dozens of lives. Alone. By the time Desmond finally descended the cliff, his strength was gone. His uniform was soaked in blood. None of it his own. He had saved 75 men. Single-handedly. The next morning, when the unit learned what he had done, the man they once mocked stood taller than any hero they had ever known. On October 12, 1945, on the White House lawn, President Harry S. Truman placed T